Take your hands out your pocket! Take your hands out your pocket!
Sheriff's office!
Welcome to 911 Cam, home of the wildest police chase dashcam footage. Being a police officer means putting your life on the line every single day. Most people go to work worried about deadlines or difficult customers. Cops worry about whether they'll see their families again. These 5 stories show just how quickly everything can go wrong, even during what seems like a routine day. These officers had no idea when they started their shifts that they were living their final hours. Case 1. The domestic call that became a death trap. Officers never know what they're walking into when they get called to a domestic violence situation. On April 5th, 2019, Henry County Police got one of those calls that every cop dreads. A man had shot his pregnant wife and teenage son. Multiple officers rushed to the scene, knowing they were dealing with someone who'd already proven he was willing to kill his own family. When they arrived at the house, they could hear chaos inside. The suspect, 47-year-old Anthony Bailey, had barricaded himself after shooting 2 of the people closest to him. The officers knew they had to act fast. There might be other victims inside who needed help, and Bailey was clearly unstable enough to keep shooting.
232 radio. Blood in the driveway, females visible inside, unresponsive. We're about to force entry.
The decision was made to breach the front door and go in after him. It seemed like the right call at the time. They had to stop Bailey before he hurt anyone else, and waiting around outside might give him time to finish off his wounded family members. So the officers kicked down the door and rushed inside, ready to face whatever was waiting for them.
You ready, Foster?
What they found was exactly what Bailey had been hoping for, a perfect ambush. He'd positioned himself where he could see the front entrance and had been waiting for police to come through that door. The moment the officers stepped inside, Bailey opened fire. 2 officers went down immediately. One took a bullet to the hand, while another got shot in the hip. Both were wounded badly enough that they couldn't continue the fight, leaving their fellow officers to deal with Bailey while trying to get the injured men to safety. The whole plan had gone sideways in seconds. Bailey wasn't interested in negotiating or giving up. After shooting the officers, he locked himself deeper inside the house and made it clear he wasn't coming out alive. The wounded officers were rushed to the hospital while their colleagues set up a perimeter around the house.
Oh shit! Watch out! Yeah!
Shot fired here, right here, shot fired.
What followed was a 15-hour standoff that tested everyone's patience. Negotiators tried everything they could think of to get Bailey to surrender peacefully. They talked about his family, tried to reason with him, offered him medical help. Nothing worked. Bailey had made up his mind that this was how his story was going to end. The officers who got shot were lucky to be alive. Both survived their injuries and eventually made full recoveries, though they had to deal with months of physical therapy and the psychological trauma of being ambushed while trying to help Bailey's victims.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
After 15 hours of trying to talk Bailey down, the standoff ended the way everyone expected it would. Bailey turned his gun on himself rather than face arrest for what he'd done to his family and the officers who'd tried to stop him. The whole situation was a reminder of how domestic violence calls can turn deadly in an instant, and how suspects who've already crossed the line into violence against their own families won't hesitate to target police officers too. Case 2. 8 bullets and still standing. Sometimes surviving a shooting comes down to pure luck and the will to keep fighting. Officer Malcolm had no idea he was about to become a walking miracle when he responded to a simple theft call on January 1st, 2016. Someone had reported a man trying to steal groceries from customers outside a store, the kind of call that usually ends with a quick arrest and some paperwork. When the officer arrived, he spotted 29-year-old Malcolm Moore based on the description he'd been given. Orr was acting suspicious, keeping his hands in his pockets and refusing to follow simple commands. The officer knew something was off, but he figured he was dealing with someone who might have drugs or stolen merchandise on him, not a would-be cop killer.
He tried to snatch that man bottle of liquor, but the man jumped in the car, was trying to burn back. He out and ran.
Okay, I see him. Come here for a second. Come here. If you don't, you better stop, or I would. Come here.
The officer tried to get Orr to cooperate, telling him to take his hands out of his pockets and come over to talk. But Orr had already decided this wasn't going to be a normal arrest. Instead of complying, he kept backing away and ignoring every command the officer gave him. What happened next shows why police officers are always nervous about people keeping their hands hidden. Without any warning, Orr pulled out a gun and started shooting. The officer barely had time to react before bullets started flying in his direction.
Take your hands out your pocket! Take your hands out your pocket! Shots fired!
Orr wasn't just taking a couple of wild shots and running away. He was methodically trying to kill the officer, firing shot after shot with the clear intent to end his life. The officer took hit after hit. 8 bullets found their target, striking him in multiple places on his body.
Dispatch, I'm in! This ain't gonna stop, I'm in! I'm in! I'm Tyson. Dispatch, help.
Most people would have gone down after the first or second bullet, but somehow the officer stayed on his feet long enough to run for cover. He was bleeding badly and knew he was in serious trouble, but his training kicked in. Even while getting shot repeatedly, he managed to call for backup and give his location. The officer's survival instinct saved his life. Instead of just lying down and waiting to die, he kept moving and kept fighting to stay conscious until help arrived. Other officers responded quickly and found Orr before he could finish the job or escape the scene.
Share units dispatched or any available units dispatched. Respond. Top station. Fire. Gunshot fire. Subject head under the officer and suspect.
When backup arrived, they arrested Orr without any additional shots being fired. He'd used up his element of surprise and didn't have the courage to face multiple officers after ambushing just one. The whole attack had been a cowardly attempt to avoid a minor arrest by committing murder.
Dispatch, okay, units around the notify Hotel 2, please. Dispatch 011-1017.
The officer's recovery was nothing short of miraculous. Taking 8 bullets and living to tell about it is incredibly rare, but he pulled through and eventually returned to duty. His case became a reminder to other officers about the importance of staying alert even during routine calls. Orr got exactly what he deserved for trying to murder a police officer over a petty theft charge. He was sentenced to 30 years to life without the possibility of parole, meaning he'll never get the chance to ambush another officer. The officer he tried to kill went back to protecting the community, while Orr will spend the rest of his life behind bars thinking about his decision to choose violence over cooperation. Case 3. The wrong lane, wrong time. Deputy Greg McEwen thought he was dealing with a simple traffic violation when he pulled over a driver who'd been swerving between lanes. The Blount County Sheriff's deputy approached the car professionally, asking the driver why he'd been all over the road. The driver, later identified as 42-year-old Kenneth DeHart, claimed he was just fixing his hair and hadn't realized he was driving erratically. It seemed innocent enough, but McEwen smelled marijuana coming from the vehicle. That's when what should have been a routine stop started going downhill fast. McEwen called for backup and told DeHart he wanted to search the car. DeHart immediately got defensive, claiming there was no weed and refusing to cooperate. The argument escalated quickly, with DeHart becoming more agitated as McEwen's partner arrived on scene.
Well, I stopped you.
Literally, I ain't doing nothing wrong.
Kenny, man, I just need you to get out of the car,
I'm
brother.
not getting out.
I'm not getting out the car.
All you have to do is step out and see me. I don't have a dog to get, brother.
You could have just gave me a ticket and said, get on. I don't smoke weed.
I don't have a dog to get here, okay? I don't have a dog to search your car.
Well,
I do not have a dog. I can't help you there. You know, I'd like to have a dog.
Baby,
I don't have a dog.
Come down here, baby. I'm on Seville Road, baby. Just come down Seville Road like 10 minutes.
I just need you to step out of the car, Kenny.
I'm refusing to search, man.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen if you don't step out of the car. We're going to have to drag you out of the car, and then you're going to go to jail.
I don't smoke marijuana.
So you can either step out of the car, or I can pull you out of the car.
When the officers tried to get DeHart out of the car, he started fighting back. They deployed tasers, but DeHart was beyond reasoning. He'd reached his breaking point and decided he wasn't going down without a fight. That's when DeHart pulled out a gun and started shooting. The female officer took a bullet to the leg but managed to survive. McEwen wasn't so lucky. DeHart shot him multiple times, then drove past his body to fire one final shot, making sure the deputy was dead.
Kenny.
Please stop! Let me talk to my man about my
I just got tased. Shots fired, I'm hit.
The wounded female officer was screaming for help, bleeding on the side of the road until Good Samaritans showed up. She desperately wanted to help her partner, but there was nothing anyone could do. McEwen was gone.
Help! Help, I've been shot! I've been shot, help! 330, 335, 344's down, I've been hit. Suspect fled back towards town on Seville Road.
DeHart fled the scene, sparking a massive 5-day manhunt. The mayor offered a $10,000 reward for information leading to his capture. Finally, police found him hiding in an apartment 20 miles away from where he'd committed the murders. When they arrested DeHart, he showed no remorse, even making racist comments to the officers. He got charged with first-degree murder, attempted murder, and a list of other crimes. The prosecutor is seeking the death penalty. McEwen died because a routine traffic stop spiraled out of control. One moment he was doing his job, the next he was fighting for his life against someone who'd rather kill than face the consequences of his actions. Case 4, third time's the charm. Deputy Zach Parrish had been to Matthew Reel's apartment twice already that New Year's Eve. The veteran was having issues with his roommate and kept calling police for help with restraining orders. Parrish and 3 other deputies thought they were making a routine third visit to calm things down. They knew Reel was dangerous. He was a veteran with PTSD, owned multiple weapons, and had mental health issues. That's why they sent 4 officers instead of just 1 or 2. They thought they were being careful enough.
Matt, come out! Matt, come out of the room now!
Parrish knocked on the door and tried talking to Reel through the wood. Everything seemed normal at first. Reel even opened the door briefly to talk, but then slammed it shut when officers suggested taking him in for a mental health evaluation. That's when Reel opened fire through the door. All 4 officers got hit, but 3 managed to run to safety despite their wounds. Parrish went down and couldn't get back up. He was trapped inside the apartment with an armed man who was determined to kill every cop he could find.
Matt, come out! Matt, come out of the room now!
And unknown to them, a loaded AR-15 rifle.
Open the door! Sheriff's office!
The other officers were bleeding badly but alive. One got shot in the chest, another in the arm and leg. They wanted to go back for Parrish, but Reel kept shooting out the windows at anyone who tried to approach. The officers had to watch helplessly as their partner remained trapped inside. For over 2 hours, Parrish lay in that apartment while Reel continued his rampage. The gunfire was so intense that bullets were hitting neighboring apartments, injuring innocent people. SWAT finally arrived at 7:30 in the morning and shot Reel dead. Case 5, the Good Samaritan who paid with his life. Sometimes being a good person gets you killed. That's exactly what happened to New Mexico State Trooper Justin Hare on March 15, 2024. The 33-year-old officer thought he was just helping out a stranded motorist on a lonely stretch of highway in Key County. Instead, he walked straight into his own murder.
Taking grab the 97. Hey, bud.
Got a flat tire. You can help me?
What are you needing?
Just a tire. I need a ride to the store. You get me there.
Hare got the call in the early morning hours about someone needing assistance with a flat tire. It seemed routine enough. Cops help stranded drivers all the time. Hare pulled up to find 33-year-old Jeremy Smith standing next to a broken-down vehicle, looking like he needed help getting back to town.
Okay, I can get you back to town real quick, but nobody's open tonight.
Well, that's fine. I get town. I just haven't come back to get the car.
Okay, go ahead and go to the front of my car real quick. I'll meet you up there real quick.
Hare was nothing but professional and kind. He told Smith that most places would be closed at that hour, but he'd be happy to give him a ride into town anyway. Smith seemed grateful and cooperative as Hare directed him to walk to the front of the patrol car. Hare was probably thinking about how this would be a quick, easy call before getting back to his regular patrol duties. He had no idea he was dealing with a cold-blooded killer who was already planning his next move.
I'll get...
Without any warning whatsoever, Smith pulled out a 9mm pistol and shot Hare point blank in the head. The trooper died instantly, never knowing what hit him. 1 second he was being a good Samaritan. The next he was dead because he tried to help the wrong person. But Smith wasn't done with his crime spree. After murdering the officer who was trying to help him, Smith stole the patrol car with Hare's body still inside. He drove north for about 5 minutes before dumping Hare's corpse on the side of the road like garbage. Then he kept driving the stolen police vehicle until he eventually crashed it and fled on foot. The whole thing was captured on Hare's body camera, showing just how quickly a routine call can turn deadly. Hare never had a chance to defend himself because he was focused on helping someone in need, not expecting to be ambushed by a killer.
Hare, brother, hey brother, Hare, 961 Norcom, I need a 55 now. 961 Norcom, 961 Norcom, I need a 55 now. Hare, hey, brother, hey. Fuck.
Investigation later revealed that Smith had been on a multi-state crime spree. He'd stolen a BMW from a nurse just days before killing Hare and already had warrants out for his arrest. That explains why he was so quick to kill an officer. He knew he was going back to prison if he got caught, so he decided murder was his best option. Police caught Smith a few days later and charged him with everything they could think of: carjacking resulting in death, kidnapping resulting in death, possession of a stolen firearm, and interstate transport of a stolen vehicle. Federal prosecutors are seeking either life in prison or the death penalty, because federal law doesn't allow parole for these kinds of crimes. Hare's death hit the law enforcement community especially hard because it showed how even the most innocent interactions can turn deadly. He wasn't making an arrest or chasing a suspect. He was literally just trying to help someone get home safely. His kindness and willingness to go above and beyond for a stranger cost him his life.
Right here! Stop moving! Stop! Stop!
Shot fired! Shot fired!
Take shots. Quit fucking moving! Roll over! Roll over! Roll over!
That's okay?
Yeah.
The trooper left behind a pregnant wife and 2 young children who will never understand why their husband and father had to die for trying to help someone. Hare's widow had to deal with not only losing her husband, but also raising their kids alone, including a baby who would never know their father. Smith's decision to kill Hare instead of just running away shows the kind of evil that police officers face every day. Hare approached that car thinking he was dealing with someone who needed help, not a violent criminal who saw murder as easier than explaining himself. One moment of kindness from a good officer met with pure evil from someone who had already decided that other people's lives didn't matter.